Welcome, welcome. It is Kim the Paint Diva, and we are going live today at 4 o'clock with Autism Ontario as part of our special guests. And we're going to paint Georgie the Giraffe today. And we're going to wait for a little bit to make sure that we get everybody on. And we are going to go live, and we are going to paint this fantastic painting. He's cute, he's fun, and you can make him any way you want. If you want to personalize him, you can certainly do that too. So it's not quite 4 o'clock yet. We're going to just give everybody a chance to get on. If you're on and you want to say hi, you can do that. Again, my name is Kim, the Paint Diva, and we're going to keep this video up for a couple of days afterwards. And we're also going to post it to our YouTube channel, The Paint Diva. So if you subscribe to YouTube at all, you can go on there and you'll be able to find it as well. So we're going to paint this cute little guy. We're going to have some fun. We're going to make it look like a little girl today, but we've got this boy one here right now. And this is Georgie, and you can be Georgie as a girl too. And it's just basic shapes, and we're going to have a really cool outcome, and we're going to make them look really super cute. And holding the flowers just kind of the topper. So we're just going to give it another minute or two and just make sure that everybody gets signed on okay and they can watch it live. And we're going to paint with Q-tips, and we're going to paint with a sponge, and that's about it today. Pretty simple, straightforward. And I've taken my sponge and I've cut it up. I've got a few little pieces of sponge as well. So I've got some little pieces, and I've got a big sponge. And I got a whole bunch of Q-tips right here. So we're going to use these, and we're going to have some easy peasy instructions. I hope that everybody understands and likes them. And then we are going to create our cute little giraffe. So we're just waiting for a few more minutes, just for a couple minutes, just to make sure that everybody's on. Because it's just 4 o'clock now, so we don't want anybody to miss out on the fun. I hope we like our Georgie. I think that he's pretty cute. Especially with a little bit of hair. And I decided to do this one because we just had a new baby giraffe born at the Toronto Zoo. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to do a giraffe themed painting to celebrate the newest edition at the zoo. So we're just going to give it another minute. And it's just 4:01, hot just like the highway. And then we're going to paint our cute little giraffe. If you want to say hi and you want to tell me your name, you can do that too. And then I'll know who you are. And I promise we'll try and go as slow as we possibly can so that everybody can paint along. Because it's pretty cute. All right, we're just about ready. Okay, so this is what we're going to paint. But just like you, I'm going to start with a blank canvas. Just like that. Okay, so are we ready to go? I think we're probably ready to go. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take a Q-tip. Hi, Kathy. Thank you for joining us. So just one single Q-tip, just like that. And we're going to dip it in the yellow paint. We'll dip it in our yellow paint. And we're going to kind of use this just like a pencil. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to make an upside down U on our canvas, just like that. Okay. That's all. Just an upside down U. That's all we got to do. Pretty easy, I think, so far. Pretty straightforward. Okay. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make another couple of little U's on either side of that U. One and two, just like that. So we got two little circles on the upside down U, and those are eventually going to turn into the ears. So just two little U's upside down, just on our canvas, just like that. And I'm just using a single Q-tip, and I'm using it kind of like a pencil to draw along. Okay? Now the next thing we're going to do is we have to make our giraffe's happy face. So does everybody know what a circle looks like? Well, what I want you to do this time is I want you to make a squishy circle. So you're just going to go squish and make it nice and big. Just like this. Just a squishy circle. And go right around. So that's all I want you to do. Nice big squishy circle. So start on either side of our upside down U and just make a circle shape and go right around to the other side. So we've got a squishy circle and an upside down U and two more little upside down U's, and that gives us the face of our giraffe. Just a squishy circle. Does that make sense so far? Give me a thumbs up if that makes sense. And you guys let me know when you're ready to move on to the next spot. Okay, so we've just done an upside down U, just right here. We've made two more little upside down U's on either side for the ears. And then we made a big squishy circle underneath that upside down U for the giraffe's face. Does that sound pretty straightforward so far? Okay. Now we can't just have that face just kind of hanging out in the middle of nowhere. So we have to put the neck on our giraffe. And all the neck is an upside down V. It's a V shape. So just one little stick, two little sticks, just like that. So almost like an upside down V. And then the last little thing we do is we got to make some little bumps on the side of our V, just like that. Okay. And that's all they are. And I just filled those in with some yellow paint right now. So we've got our upside down V at the bottom. We've got our upside down U at the top. Okay. And then we've got our two little upside down ears, our upside down U's to make ears. and then our smushed face to come right around. Okay, so an upside down U for the top of the head, two little upside down U's attached to that for the ears, a smushy round circle for the face, and then we did an upside down V at the bottom with a couple of little bumps on the side of the one part of the neck. So again, just for the one more time, upside down U for the top of the face, just like that. Two upside down U's for the ears, a smushy circle for the face, and an upside down V at the bottom. And then on that V, we added a few little bumps on the side because that's we're going to use those later. Okay. Hi everybody, I'm glad you're joining in. You guys let me know when you're at this stage and that we can answer any questions that you have. And we're going to go slow so that everybody can do it together, okay? So an upside down U for the top of the head, two upside down U's on either side of that for the ears, a smushy circle for the face, and an upside down V for the neck with a few little bumps on one side. And that's all we need to do right now. That's the outline of our giraffe. Okay. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our white paint. So I've got a single Q-tip again with just some white on it. And we're going to figure out where our eyes are going to live. Okay. So we want nice big eyes on our giraffe. So I'm just going to do a quick little outline. And a squishy circle again. Okay, just a nice big squishy circle. That's it. And you're going to barely be able to see that, but that's okay. And that's, we have two big squishy eyes. Okay, and that's it. Two big squishy eyes. Big squishy circles are going to give us our nice big squishy eyes. So just a single Q-tip dipped in some white paint, and I just drew out two squishy eyes. It's the same kind of Q-tip that we used to paint the upside down U and our two little ears, and then our big squishy circle for the face, and then an upside down V with a few little bumps on the side of it. And now we did two squishy circles for the eyes up top. Okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to take one of our little sponge pieces. Everybody got your little sponge piece? And we're just going to dip it in some yellow paint. So see, I got some yellow paint right on that sponge. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to color and fill in my smushy face, just like that. I'm just taking yellow paint and I'm filling in my smushy face. And if you get a little, if your sponge gets dry and there's not enough paint on it, you go dip it back in the yellow again and add a little bit more. Okay? Just like that. Just my smushy face. And I'm not going over my eyes. I don't want to paint on my eyes. I want to leave those alone. I don't want to put any paint there. And I'm just smushing it around. Just like that. So see, I just filled that all in. So we've got our smushy face now, has got yellow paint on it. So we want to do the same thing down on the neck, is we want to add some paint and fill the neck in. Just like we did. With our face, just like that. Okay. And then I want to do the same thing. We want to put some yellow paint in our ears and fill that whole space in. So I'm adding yellow paint just like that. Okay. You guys fill your giraffe in with the yellow paint. And make it all smushy. Okay, so we've used our sponge with our yellow paint, and we filled in the bottom part of our face, and we filled in our ears, and we filled in the V at the bottom for our neck. So now we've already put that white paint up in our swishy circles for our eyes. So we have to kind of paint around those eyes without getting it into where we've just put our white paint, because we want to be able to see the yellow and we want to figure out where our eyes are going to go. So we're going to use a Q-tip, just a single little Q-tip, and we're going to dip that in the yellow paint again. And I'm just going to go right around my circles that I made for my eyes. And I'm going to fill the rest of that yellow in that part of our upside down U that we drew earlier. Okay? And I'm just going to kind of push that paint around. And I'm just going to fill that all in, all around that white paint that we did with our smushy circles for our eyes. Smushy around here. Just keep using that Q-tip and adding more yellow. And just fill that face in, just like that. That's all you have to do. So we started with our upside down U. And then we made our two little upside down U's on either side of the head. And then we made our smushy face. And we have an upside down V with a few little bumps on the side. Then we made our two smushy circles again for our eyes with the white paint this time. And then we just filled our whole giraffe in with yellow and using a little sponge. That little guy right there. So that's all we have to do to paint. And if you don't feel like you're doing fast enough, or that you feel that you're falling behind a little bit, don't worry, you can still catch up, because we'll keep this live on our Facebook page for a few days. And I'm also going to upload it to our YouTube channel, The Paint Diva. Okay, so just have some fun, take a few deep breaths. I know it can be overwhelming, and I know sometimes it can be a little bit scary and frustrating if you're trying to paint along, but fear not. We'll make sure that we keep everything up so that everybody can see it, okay? So you guys, you let me know when you feel like you've got your giraffe face all painted in, and then we'll move on to the next stage, okay? So again, just upside down U and 2 upside down U's for the ears, and then a smushy face, a smushy circle for the face, and an upside down V for the neck, and 2 smushy circles for the eyes. Okay. And then the last thing we have to do is, because giraffes have little horns, we have to figure out where our horns are going to live. So of course they live up here. So we're just making 2 sticks, 2 little sticks on either side. So little rectangle shapes. Don't have to be anything too fancy, just a couple of little rectangle shapes, just like that. And then of course on top of the rectangle shapes we have to have a circle. So we're going to paint a circle on top of our rectangles. Okay. And we're just going to paint a couple of circles, just like that, on top of our rectangles. And that's your basic shape of your giraffe right now. So if we got our little antlers on, and we've got our ears on, and we've got 2 nice big eyes, and we've got our upside down V for our neck, now we have to fill in the background. So why we're doing that is because we have to let all this paint dry now, because we're going to do some other things on this paint. So now I'm going to take another new sponge, another little square, and I'm going to dip it in my background color. Now today I'm going to use lavender, but I think that you guys probably have a teal color. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to push that background color on, and if it's teal you use the blue. I'm going to use the purple, and you're just going to paint in straight up and down just from the edge. Okay, don't go too close to your giraffe yet, and just paint in straight up and down lines on the white part of that canvas. Okay, that's all I want you to do. Stay away from the giraffe. You can get a little bit close, but don't go too close, because we're going to fill that in. I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, so just like that. And you want to do it on this side as well. And then remember, always remember to paint the edges of your canvas. Okay, because you want to seal that paint into the canvas, and you don't want any air to get in at it. And that's all you're going to do. You're just going to fill your background in as close as you can get to the giraffe without touching it with your color. And you'll notice I'm going to go right straight across the top. And I'm going to paint over here some more. And paint up here. And I'm going to push some paint up over on this side. You guys just paint along to your backgrounds and get your backgrounds all filled in. Come as close to the giraffe as you can without touching it. I'm going to show you how to fill those edges in. Okay. I'm getting close to the bottom, so I want to just make sure I get my bottom edge all done. Just like that. Just take your time. Go around your ears. Go around your antlers. Just fill it all in. Okay. And that's all you gotta do. Just fill your whole background in. Just take your time. Fill that whole background in. Like I said, get close to your giraffe, but you don't want to paint right over top of it. And if you do, that's okay, because you can go back in with your yellow later and go over your background, and you can smooth those edges all out. Okay, so you just keep painting and you just keep painting. And then what you're going to do, so when you get to that point, now you're just going to take a little bit of paint just on the edge. So just on the very edge of your sponge. So just on that little sharp edge right there. And you're just going to go in and go push straight up. Go right around the edges of your giraffe. And you just go right around the edge. Just like that. So remember, just a little bit of paint on the edge of your sponge. Just on that little tiny corner of your sponge. And just follow the line of your giraffe. And go around. And then fill those colors in. Now if you find that it's too gloopy and you're finding that it's just making too much of a mess, take a Q-tip and you can do the same thing. You can go in and just go around the edge, just like that, of your shape, and then go straight up, and it blends it right into the other color. See? Just like that. Okay, and I'm going to do that down here, because remember we made some bumps along the spine. Just like that. And it makes it all come nice and close to your giraffe. So I'm going to do that up here around my antlers, because it's a pretty small spot that I made. And I'm going to paint and fill in that little spot right there. Alright, and if you guys have got questions, you can ask them. I believe that my friend Jennifer, she's on, and she helps me when I'm painting, because I don't always get to see your questions. But if you've got questions, you can ask them. Okay. So see how I'm just kind of going right around that shape, because we made our upside down cup. And then I'm going to go right around that ear and come right up to the edge. And then I'm going to fill all that in with my Q-tip. I just keep dipping in the paint, and I'm going very slowly. Okay, and I'm doing the same thing around the antlers. And I'm going right up and around. Because we want the antlers to, we want to be able to see those antlers. So we're going to fuss them all up later. Make them all fancy. And that's all I'm doing, is just using a Q-tip. And I'm filling in all those little white spots that I didn't get with my sponge. Just like that. And then I'm going to take my little sponge again. touch it into the paint. Remember, I'm just using the edge of my sponge now with a little bit of paint on it. See that? Just a little bit. And I'm going to go right up close to the face. And then just fill that space in. Ooh, I'm using my right hand and I'm left-handed, guys, so this is a little bit tricky. Look at that. Figuring it out. Again, a little tiny bit of paint just along the edge. And then filling it all in. And there we go. Just like that. Okay, now take your time. Just take your time and fill your background in. So we've made our smushy face. Now we've painted in our background a little bit. Okay. And that's okay, Fiona, if your sponge is bigger, you can just fold your sponge in half. So if you've got a bigger sponge like this, just fold it. I'm just going to give it a fold just like that. And then you can use that little piece there. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is you guys let me know when you're about ready with your background. If your background's all done, then you let me know and we'll do something else now too. We're going to make our background a little more fun. So you got a couple of different things that you can do on your background to make it more fun. Okay, so you can either take your Q-tips and dip it in some white and make little polka dots. Or you can just take some white on your little sponge with that you just used your background color for, and you can make yourself some little lines. So I'm going to make some polka dots. So I'm just going to take my little white Q-tip and some white paint, and I'm going to just make some dots. Just kind of here and there and everywhere. And they're not going to be really bright because the background's still wet, and that's okay. We want it just to kind of blend in. We want them to be soft. I'll see, I'm just doing a little one over here, maybe a little guy over here. Just a little bit of white. Maybe a little one that lives down here. Maybe another little guy that lives over here. And you'll notice that your dots take on some of the background color, and that's what you want them to do, because you want them to be different shades. Some will be brighter white, some will be softer white, and that's good. We want that. I'll do another little dot over here, and maybe another little guy over here, maybe another little guy down here. And they're all different sizes. You can make them as big or as little as you want. If you want nice big circles, you can make nice big circles. If you just want little tiny circles, you can have little tiny circles. Okay. And I'm going to put another little guy right here. Ooh. And then another one over here. Kind of tucked in behind the ear a little bit there. And maybe another little guy over here. Maybe one more right there. Maybe one more little one right there. So there, I've just put some polka dots for my background. Just like that. And kind of made our little background exciting and colorful. And you can add as many or as little dots as you want, or if you just want to make some streaks, you just make some streaks, just like I said with the sponge. That's all you got to do. So we've got some dots, and we've got part of our giraffe, and we've got lots of colors happening. All right. You guys tell me when you're ready for the next step, and then we'll go on to the next step. How are we doing? Do we like our giraffe so far? Do we like what we see? He's kind of cute, huh? I think I'm going to make this one look like a little girl. I'll show you how to do that later. So if we're all done and we're all ready, you guys let me know, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, Fiona's ready. Fantastic. All right, so now what we have to do is we have to make the black parts of our eyes. And so for that, we're going to use a single Q-tip again, like that, and we're going to dip it in black paint. Now, remember how we have our smushy eyes at the top, our smushy circles. Now we have to make a smaller smushy circle in black inside the white. Don't come all the way down, only about halfway or so. Okay? And then you're just going to fill that all in with black. Just filling that all in with black paint. Just like that. All black. Okay, and we'll do the same thing over here on this side. Another smushy circle. Fill it all in with black. Just like that. Just fill your eyes in with the black paint. And then we have to leave those alone for a little bit to let them dry. You guys let me know when you filled those all in and you're ready for the next step. Okay, I think we got some eyes ready. All right, now we have to make our ears look a little more interesting. So remember when we first, our first outline was the upside down U, right? And then we attached our two upside down U's on either side. Well, where we attach them, we have to draw a line of brown, but not all the way. See, I'm leaving a little bit of yellow on either side of that line. See how I've left a little bit of yellow there? And then I want to do the same thing over on this side. I just want to draw a little line following the first one that we did, but leave some yellow on either side. That's all I want you to do, just like that. that line, and we're just going to draw another little cup inside, a little small cup inside that yellow that we just did. And then we're just going to paint up like this with some of the brown. That's all I want you to do, is just fill that all in now with brown. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing over on this side. So a smaller little cup inside that yellow one that we did. Another little upside down U, and then fill that in with brown paint. And it doesn't have to be solid. It can be different shades of the brown. Just like that. Okay. That's okay, Fiona, because we're only going to need a tiny little bit of yellow. So now we have our fun little giraffe ears. So now we're going to take that same little Q-tip and we're going to dip it into the white paint, and we're just going to make some white lines in that brown, and we're just going to soften that brown up a little bit so it's not so dark. Okay, just like that. Makes it a little bit softer. See how that makes it much softer? Makes it much softer. Take a little bit of the white and go right over that brown, just so it makes it a little bit softer. That's all. Just soften that brown paint up a little bit. Now we've got some brown and white on our Q-tip, right? We're going to come down to the neck, and we're going to make a few little spots on our neck with that same light brown color. You decide where those spots are going to live and what they're going to look like. Use that same brown and white. And they don't have to be very solid. They can be very soft. Really soft little soft circles, soft shapes. Nothing too heavy. Just like that. There. And now we have soft brown, nice soft brown in our ears, nice soft brown little spots on our neck. We have our smushy eyes. Okay. Do you think it's starting to look like a giraffe yet? All right. So when we're all done that, you guys let me know when you're ready, because we're going to go back to our little yellow sponge again. We're going to go back to our yellow. And we're going to paint a little bit of yellow on one side. Just put some more yellow paint on there. Okay? Just a little bit of yellow. So we're just going over that yellow with more yellow. And then we're going to take our Q-tip and we're going to dip it in some brown paint. Just like that. And we're just going to go right, make quick little lines kind of around the edge where we just painted, just like that. Just want you to make some lines, a few little lines. Okay, and we have our sponge with our yellow paint on it, and we're going to go right over top of that brown, And look at what it does. It softens the brown up and gives us a little bit of a shadow on our giraffe. Just right over top, across the chin, with our soft brown now. And that just softens that brown right up. Gives it a little bit of shadow. And if you feel like it's too much brown, so you can get some brown on there now. Just go back into your yellow again and just go over it in the yellow one more time. And it'll just soften that brown up even more. Just give it a nice soft feel. Just like that. So you want it to look just soft, just like a little bit of a shadow, like the sun shining down on the giraffe's little face. That's all you want to do. Okay. Just like that. So see how that just made it, give us a little bit of shadow over here, gave us a little bit of a shadow between the chin and the neck. Just by using a little bit of brown paint. And we're going to take that same sponge, because it's got a little bit of brown and a little bit of yellow on it, and we're going to figure out where our little nose line's going to live. So it's a baby giraffe. It really doesn't have much of a nose right now. So all you're going to do is going to take that sponge and just use the edge, and you're just going to make a little tiny woof right under the eyes. Almost like a little slight little sad face. And that's all you're going to do, just like that. Just got a little bit of a sad face there, but that's where the bridge of our nose is. Okay. Now remember how we did our nice soft colors in our ears? We have to do the same thing now for our little nose part. So we've got a Q-tip with some brown on it and some white on it, and we're just going to make two little tiny circles right there under our little sad face that we made, our little sad face line. Just like that. Just like that. So now we have two little sad face circles under our little line. Okay, you guys let me know when you're ready, and we'll go to the next step. So we've got our little arch of our nose, we've got our two little nostrils underneath. So now, remember how I said we had these little bumps on the side of our neck? So now we have to fill those bumps in. So we're going to take our brown paint, and we're just going to follow along those little bumps. Just like that. And then fill those in. And they're going to look a little bit streaky, and that's okay because the yellow is going to come through, and that's what we want. We want that yellow to shine through there. These are little bumps on the side of our giraffe's neck. And a little bit of yellow shining through there. Okay. Excellent. All right. So now, it depends if you're going to just leave it as a little bit of a boy or a little bit of a girl. First of all, we're going to add some hair onto our top. So we're going to go in between the two antlers, And we're just going to make little lines, kind of going just down, just like this, just to make a little bit of hair on our giraffe. Because giraffes all have hair. They have little bits of hair on the top of their head. And some can live up like this. And then some are going to live on the other side of the antler too. Don't forget to do both sides of the antler, because that's where the hair is going to live. Right? Just quick little shots of hair. And if it overlaps the other antler, that's okay too. Just like that. And then if you want to make it a little more interesting, you can add a little bit of white in there. Okay. Take a little bit of white. Remember how we make it soft, just like the other ones, like we've done with all the other spots. Just a little bit of white. Just in like that. Adding a little bit of white over here. There. We get some hair on our giraffe. I'm going to make mine a girl giraffe. So I'm going to take a little bit of paint, a little bit of black paint, just a teeny tiny little bit, and I'm going to give her some eyelashes. So she's going to have a few little eyelashes over here on the side. So I'm just doing three quick little flicks. 1, 2, 3, just like that. And now I've got eyelashes on my little giraffe. Then I'm going to do the same thing over on this side. 1, 2, and 3. There. And now my little giraffe has eyelashes. Okay. So now everybody should have a little bit of green paint. We're going to make our flower now. So you're going to dip your Q-tip in your green paint. We have to make the stem. Okay, so the stem is just kind of comes down this way a little bit. And if you don't have green, you can use brown to make the stem. That's okay. You can do however you want to do it. If you have brown paint, you can put the brown paint. Okay. And then our stem's going to come over this way just a little bit. Just a tiny little bit over here. And that's our stem, just like that. Okay. And we're going to take, everybody's with me? So I'm going to take another Q-tip, and we're going to go back into our white, and we have to make the petals of our flower now. The petals of our flower, all we're doing is just starting in one spot and going out just like around, like a circle almost. Just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You decide how many petals your flower's going to have. Mine's going to have quite a few petals, I think. Looks like I'm making quite a few petals on this flower. And I just made petals, just like that. Okay. And then I'm going to dip in the other end of one of my paint colors. And I'm just going to go right in the center and make a nice big center in the middle of that flower. That's all you got to do. Just like that. Okay. So our giraffe is looking like it needs some centers of its eyes. So I'm just going to take some white paint on a Q-tip, and we have to make the centers of our circles. The eyes, the whites of our eyes. And I'm just going up in here. Just like that. And a little bit of black might come through, and that's okay. You can go back in and you can make it more white later when it dries a little bit. And there's one. And there's number 2 right over here. Q-tip's looking a little messy, so we'll grab another one. Just go in. Let's paint the whites of those eyes. It almost looks like the giraffe's looking up in the sky. Just like that. You don't have to do flowers, Fiona, that's fine. So now we have our funky little giraffe, and he's got 2 big eyes. This one needs to be a little bit bigger, I think. So see, mine's a little bit wet, so they look a little bit gray, but that's okay. When it dries, I can go back in and add some more. So the last step we have to do now is we have to look at our background and go, is there any spot where the background color got over our giraffe at all? See any spots? See, I see a spot right up here on mine. My antler looks a little smushed. So I'm just going to go like that and add some yellow in there. And I'm going to add a little bit of yellow over here because this antler looks a little bit smushed. Just like that. And I'm going to add a little bit of white on there because I want it to look a little bit brighter. Just like that, and just like that. And then we're going to go over here, and we're going to add a little bit of white over on this side of Georgie's face. Just because it looks pretty, and it makes Georgie look a little more colorful. It's just a little bit of white over on the edge. Okay, just like that. And you won't see Georgie's mouth because the mouth is underneath his big nose. This is his whole nose area, face area, as he's biting the flower. And that, my friends, is Georgie the Giraffe. So all you have to do, every good artist needs to sign their painting. So you put your initials somewhere on your canvas, and your painting is all done. Just like that. So I hope that you had lots of fun. I can't wait. Please make sure and ask Mom and Dad or you guys to post your paintings. I want to see your results for me. Please share them in the event or on our news feed here. And I'm going to post this up on Facebook so you'll be able to watch it again if you want to paint it again in a different color. And then I'll show you the next painting that we're going to do on June 16th. Again, we're not going to use brushes. And the next painting is this one, and it's called Reflections. So it's all trees in the water. Okay, guys, so I hope you had lots of fun. Again, this is going to be up on Facebook for a little while, and it's also going to be on my YouTube channel. Okay, thank you for joining me. I hope you had fun, and we'll hope to see you soon. Thank you so much. Bye now.